Ladies, them cheeky ass mini skirts look a fucking mess.
I will say these are the miniest to my girl things I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know when it becomes acceptable to wear something so short that you can literally see everything.
Oh my god, short skirts are all fun and games until you go outside and there's men there.
If you don't want nobody to judge you when you look a certain way, then don't show them, because you can't control other people. What you can do is control how you present yourself.
Fashion has always been a mirror reflecting who we are and what we want the world to see. But lately, the reflection has gotten smaller. Runway models embelly their outfits, Instagram reels of micro bikinis, and influencers are dressed in tiny tops. In a world where likes and attention are the new currency, less fabric often means more views. But here's the question: when did showing more skin become the only way to be seen? From red carpets to reels, the line between empowerment and pressure has never been thinner. Some call it liberation, others call it performance. So today we're going to deep dive into why less isn't always more, and why your clothing doesn't have to be tiny in order to feel bold, expressive, or freed. Hi babes, my name's Taja, mother of twins, lover of luxe things, and your guide for showing up with style and intention. In the last couple of years, we have seen more and more fashion trends that are essentially just built around women showing as much skin as they possibly can without getting arrested. I'd say one of the most notorious of those trends has been the office siren trend.
So, I've had an email from a lady in HR about my dress attire for work. Apparently it's inappropriate. I don't think it's too bad.
You are so thirsty that you would allow yourself to get fired from a job that would pay you $200,000+ a year because you want to do the office siren trend at the job, because you wanted to be a corporate baddie.
In all honesty, I'm not 100% certain about the origin story of the office siren dress, because to me it looks like it could have taken inspo from a few places, one of them being movies. Right? The Sexy Secretary, think Devil Wears Prada. These kind of movies and shows that featured some elements of the working environment, the office, these kinds of shows and movies that arguably didn't always show their characters in office appropriate wear. Most of the time, because it's, you know, it's a show, it's not reality, and so movies and shows just tend to be maybe more salacious, more extreme versions of what might be happening in real life. Maybe it came from there, maybe it also came from corn. The idea of having adult escapades with your secretary or the woman at work that you've been stalking and that you think is beautiful, and you just take her in the back and ravish her and she's got on stockings, and you know, those are my two reference points anyway when I see office siren wear. But for whatever reason, it grew in popularity, and unfortunately the knock-on effect was that we had some women who were going for job interviews or getting dressed for work in attire that was and is inappropriate. And so I did discuss this a bit in one of my previous videos, and my understanding is that one of the TikToks that I used was in fact satire. I also found that interesting though, that some of the workwear choices that we are making in 2025 have gotten so ridiculous and so extreme that comedians are making jokes about it.
Get ready with me for my first day as the new office siren. The current office siren turned 24, so she's gonna do account management or something, I don't know. First, we scan into the office building using our nipples as a badge. She teaches me how to do 3 laps around the office. That way everyone has a chance to gasp and email HR, or as I like to call it, the hot and ridiculous department. She showed me where the best lighting for making mid-work TikToks is. At lunchtime, I'm trained to go in the middle of the office and shake a salad really hard.
Wait, are you even wearing underwear? Of course I am. It's in my hair like Pamela Anderson. You're ready.
Part of a comedian's job is to be able to connect with their audience, right? So they're not going to be able to connect with you over jokes or scenarios that you don't understand and or relate to. So the idea that we have now reached a point that comedians are able to make jokes about the way that people are showing up to work means that we may in fact be in trouble, guys. We have definitely entered into a point or time where everybody seems to be very much concerned about self-expression and how they feel about what they wear and how they want to express themselves, and the idea that we all have the right to express ourselves however we want, wherever we want, at any time, at any place, no matter who is there. And we saw that approach demonstrated with the young lady who went to an interview in shorts, who went pretty viral, and the ongoing conversation on social media platforms like TikTok, where the ladies have been discussing what might be appropriate to wear for work, and even in some cases giving examples of what actually is appropriate to wear to work. And in some ways it makes me a bit sad that it seems that some of the most foundational basic life skills that we all should have seem to be missing amongst quite a few of us. The ability to be able to critically think about environments you are going into and making considered, informed, intentional decisions about what you wear seems to be gone. And I totally understand that there are some communities, some people who are oppressed and do in a lot of spaces feel stifled by all of the rules and regulations and the things that you have to do. But over here on this channel, I really want us to understand that some things are about perspective. Right? There are some things that are facts, and a fact is that we are not all treated fairly. I'd argue that we're probably never all going to be treated fairly, as much as that might be the aspiration. However, what's also true is that although there are rules and social norms in some environments about what you should wear and how you should present, abiding by those rules or acknowledging those norms, working within those norms, usually increases your probabilities of getting what you actually want.
Research shows that when you are wearing something more tailored or more formal, it shows a higher status, and it doesn't just change how people see you, it changes the way that you perform. Think about where you are and what you're trying to achieve. If you're pitching for a piece of business, wear something more tailored, something that will make you feel so powerful and ready to conquer everything in front of you. So yes, embrace your style, but leaders don't just act the part, they dress the part too.
So if we use the workplace as an example, and you're going into an interview, leaning into the social norms around what is appropriate to wear to an interview will increase your chances of getting the job. Being defiant and saying, no, I'm going to go in there and wear whatever I want. If I want to wear shorts, I'm going to wear shorts. If I want to wear a short dress, I'm going to wear a short dress. If I want to wear stockings, black rimmed glasses and a cleavage exposing blouse, that is what I'm going to do. Although you may feel empowered by that stance, it absolutely is going to affect your chances of getting what you actually want, which I'd presume is a job since you're going for the interview. And that also goes for maybe you already have the job and you're just going into the office and you think you're in a safe space now. I'm just going to wear what I want. I'm going to dress how I want. It doesn't matter. How you dress will affect whether you're considered for a bonus. It will affect whether you are considered for going on that extra training that they have available. It sounds ridiculous, but it is the truth. If you are in a job and maybe you've been in the same position for 5, 10, 15 years and you are wondering why people are coming into the workplace and moving above you and you don't get considered for those roles, part of what is affecting those decisions is how you present, how you dress, how you talk, how you conduct yourself, how you do your hair, what your nails look like. All of these things, although they arguably shouldn't matter, they do matter. Yes, it is going to be about your ability to do the job, but it's also going to be about what you look like.
Just know that some of your peers and basically all of upper management are judging you based on how you dress. Are you detail-oriented? Are you polished? Are you intentional? Are you a peer or a leader? Are you someone they can bring in a room with the clients? If you want to be seen as leadership material, start mirroring what the people in leadership are wearing. You don't need expensive clothes. Just show that you're strategic. Aim for clothes that say, I'm confident, I'm put together, and I came ready. Especially in hybrid or in office settings. Give people a visual cue to match the respect and influence that you want. People are busy. Make it easy for them to see you as a decision maker. I personally love activewear. I'm in it all the time, just not in a corporate setting. So dress how you feel best, but also how you want to feel seen.
Another trend that rose in popularity this year was the bubble skirt.
This just looks terrible on me. So bad. I don't think I would ever wear this out because I'm walking. It looks like a diaper and literally you can see up the skirt without even freaking trying. The front, it looks super cute, but from the back, it's just not.
I'm just going to say it because frankly, it's a bit disturbing at this point. The amount of women that I see walking around, grown women, I'm not talking about little girls, walking around with these bubble skirts. I know fads come in and go out. And I know that everybody wants to be cute. And sometimes at certain periods of your life, you feel extra cute. You want to be a little extra sexy. And I empower you as an adult to do whatever it is that you want to do in your own space, when you're in your house, if you go to the beach, if you, whatever it is, okay? But what I'm not okay with is me taking my kids to the mall and your hind parts are out.
I have mixed feelings about the bubble skirt, and in particular with the bubble skirt, less is absolutely not more. Okay, there are these bubble skirts that are bubble nappies. Okay, they're just covering the essentials just. And then there are bubble skirts that are a bit longer that actually I don't think are quite bad. There was one that was quite popular from Urban Revival. You know, all the girls were styling this particular bubble skirt. I actually think it's quite cute. I know that there are some people that think that the bubble skirt looks like a scrunchie, which I see, right? I actually do see it. It's not, now I'm going to backtrack. It's not necessarily my favorite type of skirt, but I don't actually mind the look of the skirt. I have seen it styled in ways that's actually quite cute. However, where it starts to become a bit ridiculous is when it gets more extreme, where we've got ladies who are maybe going to Disneyland and you can see butt cheeks. Or there was a lady at the gas station who at this point I'm sure has become one of the faces of bubble skirt gate, because you could see she turned around and you could see everything. And again, it's one of those trends where I get the vibe, right? Actually, even the girl at the gas station, from the front, it actually didn't, in my opinion, it didn't look too bad. You know, it looked cute together. I think the skirts can sometimes be styled well. Does it look a bit childish sometimes? Yes. However, I don't think the garment in itself is particularly offensive unless it is microed. Okay, it's microed. The girls look like they are just literally wearing a scrunchie round the hip and everything is out, guys. Why are we doing this? I'm not sure. What are we doing? I understand that some of us are not particularly modest. I wouldn't say I'm particularly modest, right? And maybe we see something that's cute and we're like, well, it may be slightly revealing, but it's cute. But guys, we need to think about the time and the place, especially going to places like Disneyland where there are children, there are families around.
Your booty bouncing skirts that are so short that your lumps and your humps are hanging out is not for Disney. It's not for an amusement park. If your tennis skirt is too short, if your bubble skirt is short and showing that hind meat, it ain't family friendly. You can't wear everything everywhere. You want to make sure that you keep it appropriate. You got to keep it appropriate, y'all. I know y'all want to be styling and profiling and looking cute, but do that somewhere else, okay? Wear that stuff to the club, right? Wear them short, skimpy skirts to adult appropriate functions, okay?
There is nothing wrong with considering where you are going. We have definitely entered a time where it's almost scoffed at to be considerate of others. So someone will say, you know, what about the children there? Or what about the families there? Or it can be distracting. And the rebuttal is always, well, why is it distracting? Well, partly because it's your genitals. Part of that attention instinctively has to do with survival, wanting to make children, all of those kind of things. And some people have been trained better than others to distract themselves from that. So for example, if I saw somebody walking down the road without any clothes on, would I look? Probably, but not for as long as I'd probably want to look for, you know, because I've got self-control. I've been taught how to divert my eyes or think about something else if I'm confronted with somebody's sexual organs. So I just don't think that we are being realistic about our expectations of others when we do things like expose ourselves, and when that is critiqued, say, well, people shouldn't be looking, people should be minding their business. I'm at Disneyland and you can see my butt cheeks, but you shouldn't be looking. And if you look, there's something wrong with you for looking. I mean, yes, we should all at this point, if you're an adult, you should be able to understand when it is appropriate to look and not look. We still have the power of choice, so I still get to decide if I look at you or not. However, I just think sometimes we're playing pretend. It's almost as though we're treating real life like it's Barbie's clubhouse. You know, we are going to dress this way and then we are going to get the people who are looking at us to think this way about what we dress. and we are going to do what we want, and we are going to dress how we want, and no one's going to judge us. And if they judge us, it's their fault for judging us. It's a them problem, not an us problem. Guys, newsflash, everybody is judging you. Even the ones who say that they are not. Actually, the ones who say they are not are judging you the most. Okay, they just know that it may not be super socially acceptable to say, yes, I am judging you. I judge everybody I see. Voluntarily or involuntarily, I am judging everybody I see. On an instinctual level, it's about survival. On a non-instinctual level, for me, it's about, I like fashion. So if you've got something on that kind of piques my interest, I'm going to have a look. And then I'm going to decide, oh, that's cute or not, you know. I probably won't dwell on the thought for a very long time. Most of the time, these kind of thoughts and feelings are very fleeting, so they don't last long, but they do have an effect on how you then go on to engage with the person. If you are approached by a shirtless man who looks disheveled and you are alone and it's nighttime, you might say, I don't judge people who may be having a hard time in life. I treat everybody fairly, but you definitely have pause. If you were in that scenario, you would start thinking about your safety. You would start thinking about, okay, maybe how do I get out of this scenario? Do I have someone with me? Is there somebody I can call? I'm going to be cautious about what I say to this person because I don't want it to escalate. You know, all of these decisions you're going to be making, even if the person approaches you and is polite, even if they're polite, even if they don't seem intoxicated, the fact that they don't have a top on, okay, and they may look unwashed is going to make you move differently to if the person approached you and they were in a suit, okay, and they looked clean. You'd have a different response. So I just think we just need to be realistic and real with each other. I think that would help us. The next trend that I think is becoming more and more popular is the exposing of butt cracks.
I want you to look at this dress.
Okay.
What, do you like it?
What?
Look at the back of it.
Bro, I never thought having your ass crack out was fashionable. Like, that's the style. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way y'all thought that was cute. Like, for real. Y'all decided to turn around and you know your ass crack is out. I know you feel the breeze. So, like, some stuff is just like, y'all just be doing anything. Like, anything. That shit a damn shame, for real.
Less is not always more, guys. Less coverage on your bum is not always more. Okay? There are certain scenarios where exposing your backside, I think is okay. Okay? I think it's okay. If you're on a beach, especially if you're on an adults only beach, if you're at carnival, if you are in an environment where it is culturally acceptable to be more revealing on your bottom half, you know, wherever it is. Carnival's my reference as a Caribbean woman, but I'm sure in other cultures there are times and places where you might wear particular things to express yourself, okay? And so for places like Carnival, you're going to be more expressive, in some ways more revealed with what you wear. And I think in those occasions at the beach, it's fine. But showing of the actual butt crack, I have maybe seen 1 or 2 occasions where showing, and not whole entire butt crack, guys, but maybe top half, maybe top centimetre of butt crack has looked okay on a celebrity, not on an everyday person. Honestly, if I went out somewhere and saw somebody with their butt crack out, I'd have questions. Questions I may not ask them, but I definitely have questions for myself about how I ended up here. I have not seen a butt crack styled well yet. I do know that, especially in the 90s and the noughties, you know, having the thong show was a thing. And I'm not super offended, I don't think, by thong showing in the right environments. Fancy dress, Halloween, you're dressing like Christina Aguilera, Britney, maybe you're going to a particular event that has a particular aesthetic, fine. Everyday life, thong out is a no. The use for underwear is actually in the title, underwear. So it's supposed to be under your wear. So I don't feel as strongly about thong showing as much as I do actual butt cracks. I'm hoping it's not going to pick up any more steam and become super, super popular. But what do you guys think? I know Skims had their butt crack dress, and I absolutely have been seeing more people talk about the exposing of butt cracks. I have seen more butt cracks in 2025 than I've ever seen, I think, on social media. So is it a thing that you'd wear in public? Do you have a butt crack dress in your wardrobe somewhere? We have also seen the increased sexualization of gymwear and gym attire.
women shouldn't do this, women shouldn't wear that, da 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 da. Bro, shut the fuck up, honestly. Pay attention to yourself. If you're in the gym focusing on what other people are wearing, you're just not locked in enough on your workout, and you're wasting your time, you're wasting your workout, your energy.
Ladies, we have to start being considerate with what we're in the gym, because some of what you lot are turning up in the gym in, it's a madness. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm an advocate for wear what you want to wear, but there's a time and a place.
Guys, I love a good, cute gym set as much as the next girl, okay? But we are moving into extreme territories with the ladies in the gym just in essentially their underwear. The shorts are short, the tops are short, everything is tiny. The more and more we have these super sexualized trends, I'm starting to wonder what exactly is it that we are wanting? Because some of what we are wanting, especially from men, we're just not going to get. We're going to hypothesize about the fact that men or people in general should not just see us as sexual beings or just as, you know, pieces of flesh. You know, we're more than that, which we are, and absolutely people shouldn't see us that way. Men shouldn't see us that way. But a lot of the times we are thinking about ideal world terms. We're thinking about, in the ideal world, we wouldn't be overly sexualized even if we are dressed with everything out. And in the real world, it is just not going to happen. If it happens, I will eat my hat. Okay, in 30 years, if we realize that men have gone blind and they are in fact not going to look at your vagina if they can see it through your clothes, I will eat my hat. Okay, so we've got the gym attire becoming more and more over the top. And I do know that there have been more and more conversations about women-only gyms.
I'm fucking sick of it. I'm fucking sick of it. Oh.
If I ever see someone recording a girl, I will smash your phone. If I ever see you recording me, I will smash your phone.
What's your favourite thing about a ladies only gym?
No boys.
What's your favourite thing about a ladies only gym?
No boys.
I would actually love a local women's only gym. I know that there's that women's only gym in South London that was new, that got opened. It looks really fun in there. I'd love something local to me that was like that, because although I don't wear revealing clothes to the gym, I would feel more comfortable being amongst women at the gym. So again, I think that context matters. If you want to wear gym wear that's super revealing and you're at home or you're amongst friends, or even sometimes if you're amongst just women, you know, I don't think that it requires as much consideration as when you are in environments that, if we're honest, start to become unsafe, because they may be environments that are male dominated, like gyms, and because in the ideal world, everybody would do the right thing, but we don't live in the ideal world, and there are many people who will do the wrong thing, and sometimes those people are using the way that you are dressed as indications of what you might want from them. There is a study that shows that men presume you have more sexual interest in them if you are dressed in a more revealing way, and that is even when other cues are saying that you're not interested. It is crazy out here. Okay, even if your face is saying leave me alone, if your body has less clothes on it or is more revealed, they presume that you are interested. Okay, so I feel like we just need to accept what we're dealing with and move accordingly, especially when it comes to things like fashion. I love fashion and I love expressing myself through fashion, but I think it is always helpful to dress with intention and to be considerate about how you're showing up, where you're showing up.
Dress the way you want to be treated. I know that a lot of us want to break the social construct. Women should be allowed to wear whatever they want. Yes. Women shouldn't be looked at and objectified. Yes. I agree on all of those things. But the thing is, we don't live in that world. We live in a world where someone makes up their mind within the 5 seconds of meeting you and seeing you. That is just the truth. And I'm speaking in a very broad manner. The way you present yourself is the way you're gonna get treated. So dress accordingly.
And what I think has been born out of gym wear and BBL fashion is camel toe gate, or what I am coining moose knuckle gate, where you cannot scroll anywhere online without seeing somebody's moose knuckle.
Alright guys, I am tired of trying to hide it. Alright, it's getting hard. So, I'm letting the camel toe run free.
No. No, no, no. Your coochie can't be swallowing the front of your pants. It's not the look we're going for.
And yes, I do know that we have genitals. I also know what they look like. Depending on the circumstance, I am not offended by seeing somebody else's genitals. If that's what I'm looking for, I'm not offended. However, if I'm just, scrolling the internet, maybe looking at fashion content, maybe looking for outfit inspo, maybe just having a look at something cute, looking at a haul, just browsing the internet, why am I constantly seeing the lips, the actual outlines of people's genitals? I know that for the men, there are always jokes made about eggplant outlines and wearing grey joggers. If I'm honest with you, I don't want to see that neither. If I'm honest. I mean, it may be interesting to have like a little kiki about it online, depending on who it is. But in real life, if I can see the outline of your genitals, man or woman, immediately I'm thinking corn, or immediately I'm trying to find somewhere else to go, something else to look at. I'm looking for safety. Okay, if you're a man and you approach me and I can see the full outline of your genitals, it's a hard no for me, because what do you want me to do with my eyes? And why do you want me to do that with my eyes? What game are we playing here? I can see it and I can see it. So what do you want from me? Okay, and that goes the same for women. Why are you showing it to me? And I know I've seen plenty of videos about, I've just got a big one. I actually can't believe that some of these conversations, but I've just got a big one. I can't do anything about it. Guys, yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can wear underwear or we can wear longer tops or we can wear clothing that is thicker. Guys, make sure you're investing in some quality essentials. If you're somebody who wears leggings often, invest in a pair of good quality, thicker leggings that are going to cover you properly. We've got options. Why are we pretending as though we don't have options? We have options. If you are online showing off your moose knuckle, it is because you want someone to look at it. That is the conclusion I've come to. You guys can fight me in the comments. Okay, it's the conclusion I've come to because you see it and I see it. So what else do you want me to look at? And we have also seen, I'd argue, some of BBL culture fall into professional spaces. The ladies are showing up to work in bodycon dresses, and depending on the job, context always matters. Depending on the job, depending on how it's styled, I'd argue that a bodycon dress may be okay for some settings. However, we have teachers who are in classrooms who are dressing in a way that I would describe as provocative. And again, I want to know why. Is it because we feel as though we want to make a bigger impact? We want people to have a look at our style. We want people to look at us. We want people to say that we look cute. If that is the point, then I think that there are loads of ways you can style yourself that are considerate of the environment. If it's working in a school, there's loads of ways you can style yourself that's cute, that's nice, that I'm sure you'd get complimented about, that doesn't involve being skin tight. Do you think less is more? Do you just think I'm being a prude? I am not immune to critique, right? I actually enjoy hearing some of you share your opposing positions to me, because I'm always open to considering whether I'm being considerate of my perspective. I don't think that women should have to be anything they don't want to be. The issue I see in all of these trends is the idea of context. The idea that you are going dressed as a lady of the night to an interview, or going to work dressed as though it's date night. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.